Kyle Filipowski and his girlfriend, and it is one of the wildest stories I've heard in a long time. But it all wraps up perfectly that he got drafted by the Utah Jazz. Here's the story. Let's start here. Kyle Filipowski, he's 20 years old. He just got drafted by the Utah Jazz. This is his girlfriend. She's 26. They started dating a couple years ago when Filipowski was still in high school. In fact, this is them at prom together. She would have been like 24 at the time. I think he was 18, but that's still fucking weird. But it gets weirder. Filipowski's mom and brother are revealing on Twitter right now how his girlfriend groomed him into Mormon culture and cut him off from his entire family. Here's the tweets. So it starts off here. Daniel Filipowski, his older brother, says, "I'm Kyle's oldest brother. You all don't have a clue of the extent of the story that has to do with his girlfriend. There's a story that has been pushed under the table for nearly 2 years now." And his brother reveals too that no one knows about this story outside of who's involved, the Duke coaching staff, and his agent. Then the oldest brother reveals this. Other than messaging him on his Instagram account, don't know how to get in touch with him. But look up and read on Mormon grooming and brainwashing, and you'll find some introductory details in there to connect some dots into the story that's going on here. So back to this. Grooming's a big word to throw out there, by the way. However, she was like 24 going to high schoolers prom. Again, he might have been 18, but still. And then Kyle's mom weighs in. You're opening a 2-year issue. And she is 28 with an endgame 3 years ago to have a diamond ring on her hand when Kyle left Duke. He was still in high school. I don't know, to me it sounds like Kyle's mom is accusing his girlfriend of trying to groom him into the Mormon culture and kind of use him for his potential money once he makes the league. This is all a weird situation. But what is a little funny is that while Kyle Filipowski's girlfriend might have groomed him into the Mormon culture, he got drafted by the Utah Jazz. This situation is serious and it's not funny, but like, of course he got drafted to the Jazz out of all teams.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I'm sure everyone has seen this video from yesterday. Someone said, just found out Kyle Filipowski started dating a girl in high school when she had already graduated college. Now doesn't talk to his parents at all. In the NBA interviews, is really nervous and had nothing to say. First guy to ever fall in the draft because he got groomed. All right, this is something else that came out.
He's competitive. There were question marks about the interviews. They said he was nervous. He didn't make shots at the pro day. What's going on with his girlfriend? This is all nonsense. It's hard to find a 7-footer like Kyle Filipowski who is this skilled. Somebody needs to draft him very early in the second round.
Wait a second. I'm obviously out of the loop on what the young kids are talking about. What's going on with his girlfriend? You need to elaborate.
Girlfriend, she's like 25 or 26, and people are like, "Oh, this is weird." And it's like, give me a freaking break, guys.
That's not that. What?
He doesn't talk to his parents. It's.
Oh my God! I got to get this guy on the podcast. I got to get them both.
Someone said, this led me down an insane Filipowski rabbit hole. Giveon doing Filipowski's girlfriend so many favors in his description. This looks like very iffy and suspect. His draft stock dropped because he was nervous in the interview. Didn't do too well in workouts. This is what I'm hearing so far. Something else that came out.
Kyle Filipowski, Duke hate, like people enjoying his suffering. It almost felt like going through the motions.
You know why? I think that is partially because he wasn't as effective as some of the more hateable ones are.
That's what Cooper Flag's gonna do.
Dormant hate is
it's
coming
gonna come out.
It's absolutely an indictment of the kind of player he was at the college level, that as a UNC person, you hate him because he's there, but I forget about him. I saw that he didn't get drafted and I was like, oh, if I'm him, that makes me so mad because I would want to be hated.
I think he did want that.
And that I think is kind of funny and also sad that you want to be hated and people just can't be bothered to even drum up the emotion to effectively hate you the way that others that have come before you have been hated.
There were plenty of games for Duke where literally his emotional state would swing the entire outcome of the basketball game.
I said this when Mike Krzyzewski retired, that folks are going to have a really hard time honing their dislike of Duke onto something because John Shire doesn't bring that out. So I think people are just kind of grasping for that sort of thing. And again, Cooper Flag, that's the other thing about Kyle Filipowski. They won the ACC tournament in his first year and John Shire's first year, but it wasn't like Duke was this juggernaut that was ripping through. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that also kind of adds to why I felt like, what are we doing with Kyle Filipowski?
All right. So this was his pre-draft stuff. So, 7-footer, 91 overall, 34 on the mock. Thought he would go first round though, but it is what it is. So his NBA comparison was Isaiah Hartenstein, he's probably about to get a bag this offseason. Solid big with determination, good level of coordination and productivity, a hard worker, mentally tough, no nonsense type of player. Solid floor, but low ceiling type of prospect. Upside is questionable, below the rim type. An underwhelming athlete, not particularly fast or explosive. Shooting numbers improved from 3, but nothing outstanding from behind the arc. Improved to 35% from 3 as a sophomore, 28 as a freshman.
Man, Kyle Filipowski benefited from playing a second season with the Blue Devils, but now he's ready to begin his NBA career. I am Alex Dono from Locked On ACC. Filipowski is a proven commodity as a 7-footer who can flex his game out to the perimeter. He enjoyed an All-American season in 2024 as a sophomore, started all 72 games over his 2 years with Duke. Filipowski improved his overall shooting percentages and three-point percentages in his second year. In 2024, he shot 34.8% from three, 50.5% overall, and he hauled in over 8 rebounds per game. Kyle Filipowski can help an NBA team immediately. The question is, will he develop into a star or just a steady contributor? A common player comp for him is Kelly Olynyk. For more on Kyle Filipowski and all things Duke.
All right, someone said he'll be in Europe in 5 to 6 years. Well, who knows? I mean, the NBA is hard, bro. Y'all let me know your thoughts on Kyle being drafted to the Jazz. You think he'll pan out for the Jazz? And as always, it's your boy.